What's up, everybody? Welcome back. It's Friday. It's a beautiful Friday morning. It's not looking so beautiful for the markets. The markets are a little red today. In fact, tech stocks are very red. So welcome to the stream. Good morning, Kitchener, Rocky Mountain Gobblers. I'm a bot, Shadow333, Silver, Greg Taylor. We got a bunch of people in the stream already. You guys are getting with the groove. You're getting here before even I get here. So good job, everybody. We got some coffee with us. Clink right there. How about we start doing that in the morning? We'll all have a sip of coffee at the same time. We'll clink with each other and start the day off right. So we are going to also start off taking a look at the national debt. I think we'll make this a little tradition in the morning. While we're waiting for some people to get into the stream, we'll start off just by talking about the national debt. We got 29 trillion, 34 billion, and 321 million in national debt right now. And we actually had about 4 million less than that just a couple of minutes ago when I started looking at it. So that's already gone up quite a scary amount. All right, now we also, and have I switched the camera? Okay, I did. Good. So you guys can see that. So we've already got a lot of national debt increasing. Not ideal. The markets are falling. In fact, we're going to look at some of the tech stocks pretty soon. But if you look, you can see that from their highs that they were at just yesterday's pre-market to their lows that they hit in today's pre-market, if you draw a little line right here, you can see they are down about 4.75%. So almost a 5% drop in about 24 hours on some of the largest tech stocks, right? This is QQQ. This is tracking the largest tech stocks in the S&P 500 pretty much, some of the most reliable tech stocks at least. And they're down about 5%. I mean, Tesla's with them. Tesla's down quite a bit. It went down from over 1,000, got very close to $905. But Microsoft is down. Microsoft's down quite a bit. Apple's down. Facebook's down. Pretty much everything tech-related is down, which is understandable because these stocks, if you look at the QQQ once again, have been on a massive rally over the past year. They've been up quite a bit. They went up from around $300 on this index at least to around 400. So a 33% increase in the past year alone. So pretty impressive. Not a surprise to see that they're starting to fall a little bit. They are down 5% at this point. We'll see how much further they go, right? If they get down 10%, then I think that's officially correction territory. And hopefully they don't get down 20%, but that would actually be considered a crash. I think that's when people start to consider it a crash, when an index like this falls 20%. So, Mercenary SWAT says, good morning, Rob. Buy a lot of Dip Doge and Sundial, 15 and 53. This upcoming year going to be an interesting one. Yeah. Yep. I've been buying up Sundial at 53. Whenever it's hit it, I bought up some Sundial. Hopefully we won't get down there too many more times. I mean, it does just keep giving us better buying opportunities. But Dogecoin's actually down. You know, we lost a lot of the hype that Elon had given us when he tweeted out that he was going to be accepting Dogecoin for Tesla merch. We lost a lot of that hype. We'll pull up Twitter real quick, see if Elon has said anything else. We'll see if he's got anything for us, if he's going to help out Dogecoin anymore. I hope he will, but I don't know if he can. I mean, he already started accepting Dogecoin for Tesla merch, so it's tough to say. And look at this. The most recent Elon tweet is actually a joke about inflation right here. So that's going along with the vibe of what we've been seeing in the markets lately. You can see he has this little picture. It's a cave painting. And he says, when I bought a stick with a stone for 10 shells and the next day it cost 5 shells. It's almost not an inflation joke. Maybe it's just a stock market crash joke almost. I don't know. It's something like that. Maybe a deflation joke. Interesting. Old school shell game. Interesting. So Elon's he's pretty aware of what's going on in the markets. I think he definitely likes to relate to people with these kinds of memes. So good to see. And good morning, Stand Up. Good morning, Tim Boone. Rich M. Good morning, Ludwig. Good morning, Zach Taylor. What's up? Rocky Mountain Gobbler asking about the Reddit IPO timeline prediction. I'm thinking, it's very possible they'll do it in February of 2022 because the past 2 rounds of funding that they've done in 2019 and 2020, it was private funding, right? They weren't public, but the last 2 rounds of funding that they've done were both in February of 2019 and 2020. So it would make sense if they continued gaining funding in February. That's just my personal opinion on it. I don't know for sure when they're going to do it, but that's my suspicion at least. And if you guys haven't seen my video on the Reddit IPO, make sure to check that out. I think that Reddit is going to probably do pretty darn good when they IPO initially. Who knows what they're going to do over the long term, but I think that we could definitely see a big pump, almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy that they'll end up pumping just because they are the home of Wall Street bets and the home of so many pumps. Let's see. And NJ, boom, Rob's popping up all over the internet lately. Get it, brother? All right, I suppose maybe I am. I'm not sure where I'm popping up on the internet, but maybe I am. And Colorful Pigeons USA, what do you think when Sundial? When do I think Sundial will start pumping? So I think that we could potentially see something either towards the end of this year or beginning of 2022. I think that's probably a key time, right? Because Sundial needs to get up over $1 before February. I think it's February 7th. Otherwise, they risk being delisted. And there are a couple of ways they could do this. Potentially, they could do a reverse share split, which I think is the least popular route for them to take. I don't think investors would like to see them do a reverse share split and lose half their shares. I don't think people would like that very much. That is something they can do to avoid being delisted because worst case scenario is delisting. But before February, I see them trying everything they can essentially to move up above $1. I don't think the CEO's never let it happen before. He's a smart guy. He's somehow managed to pull Sundial out of the depths every other time. I think he can do it again. So I'm hoping that he does. If he does, then it'll be nice seeing Sundial go from 58 cents where it is now to $1 in just a couple of months. That's a suspicion I've got. He hasn't done the share buybacks yet, so we'll see when those kick in if he uses them at a strategic time. And NJ9er, thank you for the super chat. He says, long on Rob's YouTube, buying more likes. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. In fact, for those of you who just joined, I will point out we're at 18 likes. So if 2 more people want to hit the like button, we could get to 20. Just saying, we could do it. We could get there before even the first 10 minutes of the stream have gone by. We could do it. So let's see what else we've got. We've got some comments. Do you have some news about DWAC, asks Vivi. I haven't heard any news over the past day or so. The last thing that I heard was the official announcement of the Rumble partnership. And unfortunately, it looks like DWAC is going to be testing $50 today. Now, I don't have any official news from DWAC, actually, but I do have some of my own news. I've made yet another purchase, or rather sale, not a sale of DWAC, but a sale of DWAC put options. So I sold another one, which will entitle me to either, well, not entitle me, but obligate me to buy DWAC for $50 a share or more by, let's see, when is this? January 20th of 2023. So we'll take a peek right here. I've sold another one. Now I have -2 contracts right there for a market value of $7,000. So what that means is that if by January 20th, 2023, DWAC isn't trading below $1, below $50, if it's not trading below $50, then I get to keep all $7,000. And it's only costing me about $3,000 something, $3,200 maybe to maintain this position because that's all the collateral I had to put forward. And that's all I can lose, right? If DWAC goes to 0, I lose $3,200. If it ends above 50, I get to keep $7,000. So I've more than doubled my money on that. And if DWAC just stays at 50, right, then I still get that full profit. If it moves up more, it's the same profit. It's the same $7,000 either way that I'll get from that trade. However, if it moves down, say to $30, if it moves down to $30 in 2023 of January, I still double my money, right? I still double my money. In fact, if it stayed above 50, that wouldn't be doubling my money. That would be 3xing it. So it's a pretty good trade in my opinion. A very high probability of profit. I don't think DWAC is going to drop too much more. I don't think we're going to get to $15, which is my break-even point on that. So I see this as a pretty high likelihood of success and a pretty high profit over the course of a year. I mean, if you can 3x your money in a year, that's a pretty good trade, in my opinion, at least. So that's just something that I've been doing. I just sold another one of those contracts, and if they get even more expensive, I might consider selling another. So that's what I've been up to with DWAC. I know it's not officially DWAC news, but it's news to me. So that's what we got. And Kitchener Leslie asking, Rob, what do you suggest we buy today? No suggestions here. Nothing's advice, Kitchener, you know that. But I will be watching closely Sundial. If it goes down too much more, I mean, we did dip in the pre-market, so if it goes down to 53 or even lower again, then I'd be buying some more Sundial. And DWAC, if we really start dipping on it, I'd consider selling another contract. So we'll see what goes on with those two. AMC also, I'm keeping on my watch list, right? If AMC ends up going down to $20 or below, that's when I'd be looking to get in. I could see it potentially happening. We'll see. Trace Trades was talking about it going to 19. He said he thought that was pretty likely. So we'll see if it happens. He's more of an AMC expert. I will defer to him on AMC for the time being. But he said a couple of days ago, I watched one of his videos, and he said $19 for AMC. So I'll keep an eye on it. We'll see. I think AMC could be doing decently in 2020. 2022. We just saw a massive dip on it. It's looking like a better buy now than it has in the past, just because of how cheap it's gotten. And obviously, not much has changed fundamental-wise. So I'm not too worried about the fundamentals not being where they're supposed to be, right? Nobody's really talking about AMC's fundamentals. It doesn't really matter for the company. It's movement-based, right? People are doing this to squeeze out the shorts, to stick it to the hedge funds, and I'll be a part of it. I just want to get in somewhat cheaply. So that's what I'm thinking. We'll see where AMC goes over the next couple of hours. If it ends up dipping a little bit lower, then that would probably be a good point for me to enter on it. So that's what I'm thinking. And of course, guys, I've forgotten the fan. The fan needs to be on. It gets hot in this room, so I'll be right back. Hold on 1 second. Okay, we are back. And one of my friends wants me to see the new Spider-Man movie. Let me text him back real quick. I didn't realize the new Spider-Man movie. I don't know if anyone's a Marvel fan out here. I didn't realize it was out today. There we go. So I would be down to see the new Spider-Man movie. Zach Taylor says, Rob, you need a checklist. A checklist of what are you talking about? I could certainly use one. I've often thought of it. I kind of have a checklist almost. If you're talking about stuff to show on the stream, I kind of have a checklist. Not necessarily, really. It's just like I see a bunch of open tabs on my second screen over here, and I know that some of them are important, and I should pull them up at some point in the stream. But what kind of a checklist are you thinking? That would probably be a good idea. I'm a big fan of organization, so I'm up for it. Fan water. Oh, yeah. I should have a checklist for that kind of stuff. I should. It's just, the streams I start a little bit rushed in the morning, right? I got up. I got not much sleep last night. I ended up playing 7 Days to Die, if you guys have ever heard of that. One of my friends and my cousin and I were playing it, and we ended up playing it a lot later than we planned. So it just ended up not being a ton of sleep last night. It wasn't a ton of sleep the night before. And I get up a little bit late, and I'm in a little rush in the morning to get here in time. I'll start the stream a little bit late sometimes, too, because of it. But that's how it goes every now and then. I'm going to try to catch up on some sleep this weekend. We'll see if I can do it. But in the meantime, the coffee's doing good for me, so that's working for now. It's going to maintain me for this last day of the week. Hopefully, it won't be too red of a day, right? I don't know if I could handle it right now, but hopefully, I'll be able to get through this one and make it to the weekend when I can probably take a nap at some point. That sounds necessary. And Witcher is out on Netflix as stand-up. I'm really looking forward to that. That's going to be cool. In fact, let me pull it up. For those of you who don't know, well, I don't know if I can pull that up. In fact, I don't think I will. But whoever hasn't seen The Witcher, make sure to check it out on Netflix. If you have a Netflix, that's pretty much the only reason I maintain my Netflix subscription at this point, right? It's $15 a month for Netflix. It's worth it to see The Witcher, I think. So The Witcher is a pretty good one. If anyone's into medieval shows, if anyone was a fan of Game of Thrones, then The Witcher is for you. So talking about inflation, there's a couple of things that I wanted to look at. One, we already looked at the national debt clock. We'll see what it's at now. It's already changed by about $20 million since we last looked. But we looked at this in the beginning of the stream, the first minute. We're at 29 trillion, 34 billion, 342 million in U.S. national debt. So we're getting very close to 30 trillion. We only need about 1 trillion more to get there. So we're getting pretty darn close. We probably can't do it before the end of the year, but you never know what kind of bill we're going to pass and what we're going to do. So maybe we can. But if we are expecting a lot more inflation, then I have to say this personal savings rate that we have provided to us by the St. Louis Fed is not looking too good. You can see that we have not saved up very much. You can see that when the stimulus checks came out, we saw big spikes in savings. Around the time each check came out, we saw spikes in savings. And unfortunately, we have returned to these rather low savings rates. And I don't know the actual statistic of how much money each American household has. I think I could probably find it, but I think it's pretty darn low. And it's somewhat scary. So we've got the average U.S. savings account balance. Okay, so average bank account balance by income in the bottom 20th percentile. The average balance is $800. So that could cover something. So the median. The average is 8,400. Interesting. This is higher than I would have expected, actually. You know, there was some statistic, maybe it was just a clickbaity article that I was reading a year or so ago, but it was talking about how the average American didn't even have $400. You know, I'm not sure if I believe that. I'm curious. I need to find that. Okay, here we go. So, the over half of Americans have less than 3 months worth of emergency savings, this says. So, when did this come out? This came out in 2021, so a couple of months ago, July of 2021, so just a couple of months ago. And Mark says I should talk about QuantumScape. I'll take a peek at that in a second, but Americans faced a difficult year due to COVID-19 pandemic, put a strain on many families' finances. More than half, 51% of Americans, have less than 3 months worth of emergency savings, according to a recent study. So yeah, emergency savings are pretty important because you never know when you're going to need some money. And you can't always rely on the government to just put stimulus checks whenever something bad happens to the economy. I mean, especially now that we're looking at higher inflation, and especially now that the Fed is talking about tapering and lowering interest, or raising interest rates rather, you can't really rely on the government to come save you if stuff hits the fan and the economy kind of takes a dump and you end up needing some money. You can't rely on the stimulus checks coming every time, at least not for the time being. So I think it is important to have some cash, to have some kind of savings that's at least going to stay as cash, right? It's something that's not necessarily invested in the market. I have some in a savings account, actually. And if you guys are interested in a really good savings account, I'll show you. I'll show you my favorite savings account. I will show it to you right here. So I really like this bank, Yotta Bank, and what they do is essentially, let me see if I can change the settings on this real quick. So let's see if I can change demo mode. Okay, so here we go. So Yotta Bank. If you guys haven't heard of it, it's a very interesting bank account. I've just turned on demo mode, so you guys can't see my balance or whatever. It just says 1,000 whatever. But basically, you end up getting scratch tickets every week. So every $25 that you have deposited gives you 1 ticket every week. And it ends up being a pretty high interest rate that you get on average from these prizes because you get a bunch of tickets, right? And we've only revealed 4 balls so far this week. Every week there's 7 balls, 1 every day at 9. You end up getting these tickets. They pay an interest rate just as a base rate, as well as the ticket prize. So I've already won 15 cents this week just for my number one ticket, and we've still got a bunch of tickets to go. I usually win a couple bucks each week. Sometimes it's more. But you can view, I'll show you guys how much you can win. It starts at the bottom. If you just get the Powerball, you get 10 cents, 15 cents for 3 balls, 15 cents for 1 ball in the Powerball, 75 for 2 in the Powerball, 4 gets you $7, 3 in the Powerball gets you 10 bucks, and then you start getting to the big prizes of 2,500 bucks if you get 4 in the Powerball, 3,000, 10,000. You can win a Tesla if you get all the balls except the Powerball, and 10 million if you get every single number. And that's incredibly unlikely, right? Because it's like winning the lottery. But basically, the way this works is you put money in this bank account. It's a legitimate bank account. And all you do to put money in is you link it to your other bank account and you can transfer money in. And the way it works is every night you get one of those scratch tickets coming off. And you can then just collect prizes every week. And they're recurring, so you don't have to buy lottery tickets anymore. It's basically incentivizing saving for people who prefer, if you like buying lottery tickets and having a chance at becoming a millionaire every week, then you don't have to take the risk of spending the money. It incentivizes you to save it. And it's a pretty beneficial system, a good app, in my opinion. It's Yotta, Yotta. And if you guys want, you can use my referral code, Robert168. All you have to do is go to Yotta Bank, download the app, use the code Robert168, and you'll actually get 100 free tickets for making your account. So if you guys are interested in that, feel free. You can see I've already got 5 referrals. My friends love it. And you know what we could do, actually? There is a pool feature. You can make a pool in this app, and you can put tickets into the pool, and then you all split the prizes. We could do a pool with all of us in it. That would be kind of cool. So if you want, feel free to join using the code Robert168. You get 100 free tickets. And then maybe we could make a pool for all the people on the channel. We could basically share all the tickets or share, I think you can only put in so many into each pool, right? But we could make a pool. That would be interesting. That would be fun. That sounds cool. So consider it, guys. Consider getting Yotta. And we'll think about it. And NJ is down for the pool. Yeah, we'll have to figure out how to set that up and communicate it. I have a pool going with my family, but we could make a subscribers pool too. That sounds fun. If anyone has Yotta, when we get the Discord going, when we get to 10K, we'll definitely be doing that. That sounds super fun. So we'll definitely set that up now. And it'll definitely help with this statistic, right? We definitely want to improve the savings rate. The fact that over half of Americans have less than 3 months' worth of emergency savings is no good. That's no good. So it does tie into, where was that other thing that I had? The St. Louis Fed. Here, the personal savings rate, pretty darn low. So we'll work on the Yotta pretty soon. I'm sure we'll get to 10K in no time. We're almost there. And then we'll do the Discord. We'll do the pool on Yotta. That'll be fun. All right, so we've missed a lot of the comments, and we have not been watching the markets too closely, but we've got 6 minutes until the markets open. And hold up 1 second. All right, so what else have we got? Let's check out Ape Wisdom just to see what's trending on Reddit. We'll see before the market opens what we should potentially be watching more closely. So we've got, of course, number 1, the S&P. That's no surprise. It's usually up there. A lot of people talk about SPY on Reddit. And then we've got number 2, Tesla, doing pretty good. It's doing pretty good on Reddit, at least. Not doing good stock price-wise. Reddit is actually suffering a little bit. So that's not ideal. In fact, we were just looking at Tesla earlier. We'll pull it up over Sundial just real quick. But it is down quite a bit. It's down, in fact, if we draw the line on it, we'll see how much it's down by. But it looks pretty severe. In fact, from the highs of the pre-market yesterday to the lows of the pre-market today, we're down about 9.8%, so almost 10%. Jeez, that's quite a bit. And Zach Taylor asks, can you explain what Quadruple Witching Day is? Can't say I've ever heard of Quadruple Witching Day, but let me give it a look. Triple Witching Hour is the last hour of the stock market trading session on the third Friday of every March, June, September, and December. Those days are the expirations of three kinds of securities: stock market index futures, stock market index options, and stock options. Interesting. So I guess we do have options expiring today, but I wasn't aware. I mean, I guess that would cause some volatility as people decide which once every quarter on the third Friday of March, June, September, and December. Interesting. Very cool. So I think it's basically, from this explanation I've just read, it's basically just when a bunch of different derivatives are expiring. And there's potentially going to be some people trying to push the price around to get their derivatives expiring in the right places. And we could see some volatility today. So, maybe today could be a turnaround point for a lot of stocks. If some of the stocks have been getting pushed down, if some stocks have been getting pushed down because some of the institutions maybe have put options on them or something, if they've sold call options and maybe they want some of those expiring out of the money, we'll see what goes on with Sundial. We don't really have that many put options sold. Basically, nobody buys put options on Sundial, but we've got a decent number of call options that have been sold, and we'll see as we get closer to January. We have quite a few more. So January is going to be a crazy one. I mean, January 21st, it's going to be crazy. So we've got hundreds of thousands of Sundial call options expiring then. That's the yearly expiration that's been out for a while. So people have had plenty of time to buy up these options contracts. And even the puts, have more than usual, 50,000 and 40,000 at their at the 50 cent and dollar expiration prices. So we'll see what happens with those. We'll see what happens with those. All right. It's looking like we might see a bit of a red day today. Unfortunately, a lot of stocks are falling. AMC is actually moving up right before the market opens, so that's good to see. We're up to 24.19. Good to see. We're not going to be down all that much from where we closed. We'll see if we can't get back into this range right here, around 25 bucks, 40 cents in either direction just about. But it seems like we may end up moving further down, right? The markets are pretty red. People might be looking for some tax loss harvesting. We'll see what happens with it. And I wouldn't mind buying it up if we got down to 20 bucks. That would be a good place, I think. So we'll see what we can get on AMC today, if we can get it a little bit cheaper. It looks like SPY is starting to move down. DWAC really not seeing too much volume, or barely anything in the pre-market. I mean, hardly anything at all. So it'll be an interesting one. And Sundial is pretty stagnant. We haven't moved that much in the pre-market. We dipped down initially, and then not much after that. So in about 30 seconds, we're going to see what happens to all these stocks. And Ambition isn't trading today, she says. Nope. Yeah, it could be a red day today. I would not count that out. We haven't had a great track record with Fridays in the past, unfortunately. I think the past couple of Fridays have been fairly red, I believe at least. If I remember correctly, I think these Fridays are trying to ruin people's weekends, but don't let it happen, guys. Don't worry about what happens to the stock market. Come Saturday, pretend the stock market doesn't exist. Enjoy yourself. So we'll see what happens. DWAC using 50 as a support. We're moving up a little bit. Sundial getting pushed downward. In fact, we're down 3% on Sundial just from where we were regarding the close. And AMC down 0.53%. The market's overall down 0.65%, but if we take a peek at QQQ, we're down almost 1% on tech stocks. So tech stocks are really suffering today. And Zach, I will point out, the metals are doing not too bad. Not too bad for the metals. They were higher in the pre-market. But we'll see. We'll see. So yeah, the market's dinging. Gold is doing decently. Gold isn't suffering too much. Let's see what Barrick Gold is doing. Oof. Barrick Gold was up a little bit more in the pre-market when I first looked. When I first woke up, it was up a little bit more than this, but we'll see what we can get on Barrick Gold if we can't get it moving up a little bit higher. And Silver says, barely any volume yesterday. For which ones? I wasn't. Maybe for the S&P, if we take a peek at the year, it was okay volume. Nothing crazy though. Yeah, so let's see. The S&P looks like it might be trying to turn around. It might be trying to move up. DWAC sure is. We've gotten a couple greens on it so far. As long as we can maintain that and stay above $50, it could be a decent day for DWAC at least. AMC, I don't know. And Robinhood, geez, take a peek at Robinhood for a second. Massive dip on Robinhood. Huge red bars, and it's down about 5% on the day. So Robinhood's just been getting crushed. And I have sold some put options on it, so I may end up having to take control of some Robinhood shares in 2023 if we keep this up. Of course, I'd be getting them for around $14 per share due to the premium that was given to me for selling those options contracts, so I'm not too worried about it. And Zach says, if I sell all my metal stocks, they will take off. That's exactly how I feel, Zach. I was considering selling some of the options contracts I have on metal stocks, but just to take the tax loss on it, but I don't know about it. It seems a little too risky at this point. With inflation really coming to fruition, with Powell talking about it, it seems like the exact kind of situation that could pump them up a big amount. And at the end of the day, I'd rather just have them in my portfolio. So I don't want to risk it too much. Potentially I could get into different stocks, right? I could trade around and sell some and then buy back a different symbol and try to get the tax loss that way. I'm still considering. We've still got a couple days left in December. We've still got a week or two. And Zach says it's the cruel game of when will reality actually take over. Yeah, it's hopefully soon, right? I've been hoping it would take over for the past year, but it hasn't done so yet. We'll see when it does. I think it'll be pretty significant when it does. And in fact, speaking of reality taking over, cryptos are falling a little bit. Now, this is the opposite of what you would expect if these were going to act as big inflation hedges. We'll see what happens in the future. It seems like people might be looking for more risk-off positions with these cryptos. They may realize that they've risen a ton over the course of the year. Bitcoin is down 4% on the day, down below 47,000. Ethereum down 7%, down to 3,700. Binance Coin down a little bit. Binance Coin, I don't know why it's the third largest crypto in the world, market cap-wise. I've never really used it or heard of it too much, other than I know that's what... And look at that. Speak of the devil, I start talking about crypto and Abstract shows up. So welcome, Abstract. Bitcoin's down 4%. That's what we were saying. I'm not sure if these are going to act as inflation hedges if things get real bad, because people aren't reacting to them too well, even though we are expecting a decent amount of inflation. It may be by the rumor that they're going to act as inflation hedges and sell the news that we actually have an inflation situation with these cryptos. So they are moving down. We'll see if they continue doing so or if they start making new highs sometime soon. But Bitcoin down 4%, below 47,000. Ethereum down 7% to 3,700. Binance Coin down almost 3%. Solana down 9%. Cardano down 7%. Dogecoin down 7%, actually, almost potentially to new lows. No, we're not quite at new lows. We'd have to get down to 15 cents to get to new lows, but we are not far off. This Elon pump, where Elon said he was accepting Dogecoin for Tesla merch, did not last very long. We were only up to 21 cents for a couple of minutes, and then we started moving down, and we've just continued this downtrend on Dogecoin. So we'll see. I think that what's going on with Dogecoin is probably a ton of people tax loss harvesting. A ton of people probably bought Dogecoin above 30 or 40 cents. Pretty much everybody was buying it above 20 cents. And now that we're below 20 cents, towards the end of the year, people are looking at it like, why not sell some Dogecoin? So we'll see. We'll see if Dogecoin squeaks out a little bit of a further loss towards the end of the year. It really might do it. Hopefully not. I'm holding Dogecoin, but I will probably sell and buy back some towards the end of the year just for tax loss harvesting purposes. But Shiba Inu also down 7%. It's not looking great on Shiba Inu. We are making, I think these are new lows on Shiba Inu since the pump. So we are officially continuing this big downtrend that Shiba Inu's been on. It's lost more than 50% of its value from the highs. So It's not the most encouraging. It has a market cap of 17 million. I'm sure there are still a lot of people following it and who want it to pump up. I still have a very little bit of Shiba Inu coin for those of you who are curious, but it's not great. It's not a great situation for these cryptos. A lot of the cryptos are falling pretty much similar to how yesterday everything was green. Today everything is red, but it looks like by more than what everything was green by. So overall, cryptos aren't looking too hot right now. That's unfortunate, but that's how it is sometimes. So let me take a peek at the Sundial short interest just to see if anything significant's happened. It doesn't look like anything too crazy has changed with the Sundial short interest, but I'll pull it up for those of you who are curious. We've got a 0.14% increase to 17.11% of the free float, and 351.5 million shares are short on Sundial. So there we go. Okay, just had to send a quick text. So, AMC, we're taking a peek at the short interest. It looks like towards the end of the day, some shorts ended up getting out of yesterday. So, we're down to 104 million shares short on AMC. So, we'll see. An abstract says he believes in crypto in the long run. I think that there are some cryptos that are going to do really well in the long run. And Angel Colon says, any potential squeeze on Sundial interest is high, correct? Yes, it is high. But to squeeze, we're going to have to get Sundial's price a lot higher than where it is. So there's no chance of squeezing around here. In fact, below $1, there's really no chance of squeezing below $1. You know, we've been above $1 before. We haven't seen a squeeze. We've been way above $1. Part of this rise was actually a short squeeze. Some shorts were getting squeezed out when we were up to these heights. But we'll have to see what Sundial can do in 2022. If we can move up significantly, we could definitely squeeze out some shorts if they haven't gotten out. That's for sure. I mean, there are over 350 million shares short on Sundial, so that would be some significant buying pressure. It'd take a couple of days for those shorts to exit their positions, especially on the average volume that we've got of below 100 million. So we'll see what we can get on Sundial in 2022. But DWAC taking a bit of a turn for the worst. Following the markets, the S&P started tanking, and so has DWAC. The S&P down 1% and DWAC down 4.5%. We broke down below $50. Understandable stuff. Potentially some people are going to be towards the end of the year tax loss harvesting this one too. A lot of people were probably buying it above $100. So unfortunately, I mean, there was a lot of volume back then. There was a lot of volume on these days when it was above 100. Maybe some people were buying it above 80 or even anything above 60, really. A lot of people were buying it at above 55. A ton of people bought it at. And no shame in taking a little tax loss on it and then buying it back later if that's what you want. Especially if you have some gains from the beginning of the year that you want to write off. Good morning, Brazil AA. Welcome. Welcome, man. It's looking like a red Friday for us today, you know. We'll probably... My thought is on this Friday, we may end up just doing an hour-long stream. We'll see. But I've got some stuff to take care of today. I'm going on a trip this weekend, so there is some stuff that I need to take care of. I'm leaving tonight, or maybe this afternoon. I'm not exactly sure when, but we may have to do a bit of a shorter stream today. And we'll just see how it's looking at 10, if we've got anything. So Abstract is asking about Lucid. It's not pretty on Lucid. We're down 7.84%. We weren't doing great in the after hours yesterday or the pre-market. We were very slowly downtrending, but as soon as the market opened, that downtrend accelerated massively, and we just dipped down quite a bit. We're down to around $37 per share on Lucid. So, the whole market pretty much is not doing good, except for gold and silver. Those are pretty much the gold, silver, and the dollar are rising. The VIX is rising. Unfortunately, pretty much everything is red. I think a lot of people are coming to terms with the fact that there's probably going to be some pretty big inflation, and that's what we're seeing, right? We're seeing people selling some assets that might be not too inflation resistant if things get pretty bad, and we're seeing them buy up other assets like gold and silver that might or that have historically at least been pretty good hedges against inflation. So we'll see if that continues. Hopefully it will. Hopefully hopefully we don't see the sell-off continue, but hopefully we see gold and silver continuing to move up. I know they've been suppressed for a very long time, so we'll see if we can't get them moving up. The gold and silver themselves might not even be the most prudent investment for a lot of people. Some people might like to buy mining stocks. Sometimes it makes sense to buy gold and silver directly, but oftentimes the mining stocks can make a lot more sense over the course of big inflation. And TLRY's on sale, says Angel Colin. Yeah, TLRY is on sale. It's looking cheaper than ever before, down to $7.50. Crazy stuff. Insane with TLRY. I mean, at an all-time low for the past year. 52-week lows today. Very, very sad to see TLRY this cheap. I mean, I might have to get some more of it. What are the options contracts selling for it with? Let's see the 2020 call options for. Whew. All right, so not many bids on these put options, unfortunately. Nobody's bidding anything. Huh. That's interesting. No bids. That's strange. Okay, wait. There we go. I was looking at, I don't know what that was, but it's a second strike date for the same day. Might just be a little glitch. Who knows? Who knows? But we've got some bids. You could sell some put options, but you're not going to get anything great for them. Maybe in January of 2023. Yeah, you could sell some of those. Those are looking a little bit more promising. You get a decent profit, but I really like those DWAC put options. Those are expensive. And Ambition says she's done trading for the year. Yeah, I think a lot of people are probably feeling the same. I mean, when the markets are blood red like this, sometimes that's best. At least the small caps are blood red. A lot of them have been falling for a long time, and I think 2022 we're going to have a pleasant surprise for a lot of these stocks. I think that they're finally going to stop the bleeding. But for now, it looks like pretty much everything is getting dumped on. Even the big stocks today are getting dumped. If you were looking at QQQ, you could see it's gone down pretty significantly over the past. We'll pull it up in the top left chart here. But this is tracking some of the larger tech companies in the S&P, and if you look at the past 24 hours just about, you can see that we are down, I think, from the highs of the pre-market yesterday at 401, we're down about 5%. So we've already fallen significantly. 5% in 24 hours on an index is scary stuff. So tech has sold quite a bit over the past 24 hours. I mean, a massive amount, actually. So pretty scary. I think a lot of people are becoming fairly fearful. And that could be good. It could present a good buying opportunity towards the end of this year, maybe into late December or early in 2022. We'll see. I mean, obviously, if inflation gets a whole lot worse and the Fed really tightens monetary policy and stops the money printers, stocks could be suffering a bit. Stocks could be suffering. Gold and silver, it couldn't hurt it could hurt, obviously. Everything in the market could hurt, but I'm on the side of having some mining companies. I've got some gold and silver, some mining companies as well. So I think it makes a little bit of sense to hedge your bets that way. I mean, I've got some crypto. I think if you diversify yourself well enough, then you should be pretty good over the long term. I wouldn't worry too much about these short-term fluctuations. It's nothing we haven't seen before. If you look over the past year at this chart of the QQQ, it's nothing crazy that we haven't seen before. It is a significant dip. We'll see if we get much lower. There certainly is the potential that we could be moving down with the QQQ even further than this. And this actually could be the beginning of a new real dip. I mean, a big move to the downside. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But it is looking like the markets could be fairly red for the next couple of days or weeks. We'll see. We'll see. But come 2022... I think we'll see some good stuff. Not a guarantee. I think we'll see some good stuff for some stocks, certainly. And especially, with my strategy of selling options, we don't even need to see great stuff to be profitable. All we need is for stocks to not fall a ton. And even if they do fall a ton, they'd have to fall a ton, and that would be bringing us to break even for a lot of these stocks. Like DWAC, I could see DWAC, if it goes down to $15, I'd be breaking even in 2023. I wouldn't even be losing money. I think actually $16 technically. But it would have to go quite a ways for me to break even. And granted, you have to look at it over the year. So DWAC, we're looking at a couple different situations profitability-wise. First off, if it moves down to around here is the expiration date. So let's draw this line right there. It would have to move down to about here. Then that would be my break-even line. If it downtrended, if you guys are looking at the chart in the top right, if DWAC downtrended to that point, that would be break-even. If it anything above this line, though, anything above this red line that I just drew, which is kind of not too obvious, actually. Let's see if we can't make this a thicker line. Okay, that was the wrong line to edit. All right. There we go. So, I won't mess around with too much more of this, but edit the trend line to that's the one we want. So we want a width of 5. Click OK. So anything below this red line that I've just drawn on DWAC would be maximum profit. So anything above $50, doubling the money that I put into the trade, and anything above this line is break even. So if you guys were curious, there are opportunities out there. It's just a matter of finding them and being patient, I think, until you see the right ones and the ones that you're interested in. Obviously, this strategy won't be for everybody, but it's something that I like to partake in because it's a high reward and a low risk, and that makes a lot of sense to me. So obviously, it's not as high of a reward as you could get. Obviously, if you buy DWAC for $50 now and it goes to $500, you've 10x your money. But I'm fine with a 2 or 3x. You know, it doesn't matter to me if it 2 or 3x's or 5x's over the course of a year. I'm making money. I'll try it again next year. And over the long term, you know, how much money do you really need? So as long as it is growing every year, I'm not too worried about it. So that's what I think. And I will point out, you know, it's been a bit since we've done it, but we've got 75 viewers, just about 52 likes. Maybe we could get to 60 likes. We'd only need about 8 people hitting the like button. It would be much appreciated, guys. I would appreciate seeing that. That would help out. And it is encouraging. You know, I try to get us to 100 likes each stream. We'll see if that can happen. But Sundial taking a turn for the better. Look at that, skyrocketing to highs of the trading day. We're only down 0.51%. And it looks like the markets have started to come back too. And that has brought back Sundial. I think people realized it was getting pretty darn cheap. But we're doing pretty good. We're not doing all that bad. TLRY also taking a move back up, but not as much as Sundial. DWAC back up above $50. So a lot of these stocks have rebounded. DWAC seems to have found a bottom at $49. And SPY is starting to move back up. I'm happy to see. So it's looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good for some of these stocks as of this past couple of minutes. Maybe we won't see a crash. Who knows? Maybe it's just a market move that's going on right now, and we will still see one. We'll have to keep an eye on it. But AMC back into this range. Look at that. Green on the day for AMC. Look at that. That's very cool. So AMC also, I'll point out, is the most active stock on StockTwits as usual. It's up to 12,500 mentions on StockTwits. So not surprising at all to see. We always typically see AMC or SPY doing pretty good. And Vivi says, I cannot see your screen. Is there any way you can change its color or make the a little bigger? Make the screen a little bigger? Like, what are you talking about? Like change, like make the charts themselves bigger? Like just show one chart, or what are you saying, Vivi? Maybe you mean like change the background color? I'm not sure exactly. But Max Pierce says, Rob, check NAKD when you get a chance. We'll take a peek at it. Whew. Yeah, it's getting pretty darn cheap. It's getting pretty darn cheap. Just took a big dump today. Took a big dump a couple days ago. It's just been getting cheaper and cheaper and on fairly significant volume. It's just getting cheaper. It's down around 47 right now. Yeah, I mean it's a potential buy at the time, right? It's there is something. So update on this. It will probably. I still need to actually pull up the form. I haven't done that yet, but let me see if I can do that right now. Let me see if I can do that right now. So. Okay, so I'm pretty sure. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. So NAKD, NAKD is going through this merger with Central Automotive. Here's the 6K for it. So on December 13th, the company announced that the exact consolidation ratio, as fixed by the company's board of directors, will be consolidating every 15 ordinary shares into one ordinary share. So what they're going to do is they're going to take 15 shares of NAKD. So for every 15 shares you've got, they're going to turn them into one share. So they're going to multiply the price by 15, and then you're going to have far fewer shares of NAKD. Well, it's actually, I mean, it'll still be the ticker symbol NAKD, but it'll be the company Centro Automotive. So if we 15x the price on, I mean, this is close to 50 cents, it'll be about $7.50 per share. So decent stuff. If you guys are interested in that, potentially we'll start getting some options trading for it at that point, and they will be in compliance with the NASDAQ again. So that'll be good to see. That'll be good to see. That the NAKD is back in compliance. Obviously, I mean, it's fun having a bunch of shares of a stock, you know, and it'll make this a little bit tougher to have a ton of shares of. But on the upside, you know, the price of the thing doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter if you have 10 shares of a thing that's 50 cents or one share of a thing that's $5. What matters is the market cap and what the companies are going to do. It'll make them seem a little bit more legitimate. Honestly, a lot of investors are scared off by penny stocks, things that are below $1. And Mike Steele says, hey, I don't know if it's just me, but your mic is kind of loud. I don't know. What do you guys think? Is the mic too loud right now? You guys hear me all right? Or, you know, I am actually looking at the mic and the aux output right now. It's looking like we're getting somewhat loud, honestly. Mic sounds fine to me, says Abstract. All right. All of a sudden, you know, for some reason now we're having all these technical issues. People are saying the screen, the mic, who knows? But we do our best. We do our best. A little loud, says Sultan Sultan. Mic is good. Users turn volumes down, says Silver. Yeah, we could do that. We could do it that way too. It might just be my YouTube is acting weird, says Mike Steele. Yeah, that could be. That could be. I prefer, I think, you know, having a if I had to choose between having a slightly loud mic and a mic that's too soft, I'd rather it be slightly loud and have people be able to tune me down a little bit than not be able to tune me up if they're at their max or their speakers or whatever. So I think that's ideal. So let's see what we've got for the world's richest billionaires today. It's always fun to check. We've got Elon Musk, still number one. I don't think he's going anywhere anytime soon, even if Tesla keeps falling. It would have to fall quite a bit to bring him below Bezos. So he's at $242.6 billion right now. He actually lost about $1 billion today. And Bezos is at $193 million. So they're about a $50 billion difference between the two. Bezos lost almost $1 billion today and has recently surpassed Bernard Arnault. In fact, today he just surpassed him because Bernard Arnault and family is down $4.7 billion. So impressive stuff. Impressive stuff. Bezos, once again, the number 2 richest man in the world. I'm sure he's happy about it. And for those of you who don't know, Bernard Arnault is the founder and owner of a bunch of luxury brands. I think Louis Vuitton and some perfume brands and that kind of stuff. So we'll see if Bernard and Jeff continue fighting it out. I mean, I know Jeff probably wasn't too happy to see Bernard overtaking him, right? And it looks like AMC just got bounced off of 25. And Silver says Bezos sold stock last few days and weeks. Interesting. And Abstract says, could you imagine losing $1 billion and it not being a big deal? Oof. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever get to $1 billion. I mean, and certainly if I did, then losing it would be a massive deal. So it seems crazy that Musk is at 246 billion and it's just whatever. Who cares? Bernard Arnault though lost 4.7 billion today, so that's crazy. A lot of the billionaires, the billionaires, their wealth fluctuates so much. You know, it's a similar percentage for us, right? He's down 2% on his portfolio. I've had bigger red tays than that, so it's interesting to see. I mean, one day, you know, everything it's all to scale. So once you get to a certain place in life, then it starts seeming like not a big deal when you lose a certain amount of money that you would have thought was massive in the past. So it is interesting. It is interesting. And, you know, it's interesting. Pretty much I'll pull this up again. Pretty much all of the billionaires, I never looked at the country and territory side of the chart, but pretty much all of them, except for Bernard Arnault, are from the United States. He's from France. He's that one guy who made a luxury brand. And then pretty much everybody else, you have to go down to number 11, and the next person's from France. Then we got somebody from India, Mexico, India, China, Spain, but a whole lot of United States billionaires. So cool stuff. Guess the United States is still doing pretty good. A lot of tech, though. You can look at the source of their wealth, and you'll see that the American billionaires are all from tech. You got Tesla and SpaceX for Elon Musk, Amazon for Bezos, Microsoft for Gates, software for Larry Ellison, Google from Larry Page, Facebook for Zuckerberg, Google for Sergey Brin. Warren Buffett's sticking in there without tech, right? He never really got involved in tech. He still has $100 billion, over $100 billion, and he's got it from Berkshire Hathaway, just investments he's made. But then number 10 from Microsoft again. So that's interesting. And the French are all about luxury. If you look at that, we got Louis Vuitton and those kinds of luxury brands from Bernard Arnault. And then the next guy who's the most rich, the 11th richest person, from L'Oreal. So that's interesting stuff. So the French are all about luxury. America's all about tech. That's cool. Very cool stuff. So, you guys are complaining about my room. I know. I've thought to myself, you know, maybe we should get some kind of a backdrop for this thing. But I just don't know if it would fit or make sense. But maybe one day. We might change studios one day. If I feel like moving into a spare room or something, I'll potentially move all this out. But we'll see. We've got a couple rooms that are very rarely used, but this is just so convenient. You know, I wake up, I'm in the office basically. It's just convenient. So. Mike Steele says that would be dope if Sundial could hit 60 cents today. That would be awesome. We're not too far off. And thank you, Jail, for the super chat. Let's go, Brandon, he says. Whatever that means. I don't know. I can't explain what it means on the channel, but I appreciate the super chat, Jail. Thank you very much. And also he says US, US, US. Yep, US. Looking at the real-time billionaires, you see the US is doing pretty good. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of the top 10 richest people in the world are from the US. So that's good to see. We're doing pretty darn good. And Kitchener says you guys are just messing with me. Yeah, I know. Rob needs a green screen of him on a luxury boat, says Max Pierce. That would be cool. I did buy a green screen, and the issue with green screens, I bought a green screen and ended up returning it. It was a really cool green screen too. The way it worked was it was a big tube that you set on the ground, and it had some legs that you could turn, and it would, and then there was a little handle that you could pull up the green screen with, and essentially it was just this self-contained green screen. You could set it up anywhere. It was just a big tube that you carried around, and then you could set it up anywhere. It was super convenient, and I took a picture for a thumbnail with it behind me, and turns out green screens are not good. Apparently, they're just used for CGI in movies and stuff, but it doesn't really work too well when you're doing pictures with them because there's a big green haze that covers you if the light's reflecting off the green screen. I just looked pretty green from the reflection of the light off the green screen, so it didn't end up being a good thing. But Kyle Cooper has to go. Have a good one, everyone. Yeah, good. Have a good weekend, man. Have a good weekend, Kyle. We'll see you on Monday. Hopefully for a bit of a greener day. I mean, at the moment, everything except AMC is red. AMC is currently testing $25. And Kitchener Leslie says a green screen of you on the bridge of the Enterprise. That would be nice. That would be fun. I don't love the way green screens look when the streamers have... it's almost like a cruddy image behind them. I don't know. Maybe if we did it the right way, it could be good. And Shadow333's heading out. Have a good one. Have a great weekend. And Max Pierce, Rob is just a green Hulk. You know, when I tell you what, when we see Sundial over $1, I'll have to get a green Hulk filter, something like that. Green for how green Sundial is going to be when we get up over $1. We'll do something. That'll be fun. I'll look into more special effects. Maybe something for the mic. We could potentially get some kind of filters that I could change by pressing buttons. That would be fun. That's always fun. Some auto-tune kind of thing. That would be nice. And Kitchener says they don't look good mostly. Yeah, they don't look good. For the most part, they look kind of cruddy. But, you know, maybe you could find a good one. Maybe we could find something. Now, it looks like AMC is going to be getting up above 25, at least for now. We're getting back up above 25, which is good to see. I know nobody wanted to see AMC moving down to $20 again. I wouldn't have minded for the most part, right? I think it would have just been a better buying opportunity. We'll see. And Kitchener is really pushing for this mustache. Really wants me to wear a mustache and be the evil twin. Maybe. Might do it at some point. And Abstract says, with OBS, you can make your background different. I think so. If I knew how to do it, I probably could. And it looks like Sundial is almost turning green for the day. We're at highs of the trading day, almost to 59 cents. We're getting really close, 58.7 cents. And we're only down 0.1% on the day. So not bad at all. Not bad at all. And Zach says, big screen TV behind you is the way to go. See, I've got a big screen TV over that way, but behind me, I don't know where. It wouldn't be too convenient to ever use. It would just look cool, I guess. Could do it, but we sure have a lot of TVs laying around this house. There's a bunch of TVs that are unused, just laying around in a spare room. So I could move a couple of them in. I think they'd look not great just sitting behind me unplugged, but maybe we'll do something with that. And Sundial is green. Look at that. We are green on Sundial for the day. That's awesome. A lot of stuff is turning around. Gold and silver still doing decently. We'll pull up gold right here. It hasn't fallen. You know, typically you see gold getting crushed right after a big rally. That's what we've seen in the past. But over these past couple of days, we've just seen it move up and up and up. So that's really good to see. I mean, oftentimes gold will start much higher, and then once the trading day starts, people just slam it. So that is good to see that gold is moving up. That's good to see. DWAC also regaining some ground, sticking above 50 bucks. Happy to see it. And Sundial up 1% on the day. Look at that. AutoCodes asks, do I trade full-time? As in, do I do that full-time to make money? That's how I make my money. I'm currently a student at the moment. I'm in college, so... but for money, yeah, it's mostly just pretty much, yeah, just trading. So that's one of the reasons why I prefer options, right? And selling the options, because it's much lower risk, right? You risk much less, and it's just a more reliable source almost of getting reliable money. So, Rob, if we get sold a fake share, is that money available to AMC? Says JL. If you get sold a fake share. And AutoCodes asks, what am I studying? It's actually finance. So it's related to the channel. So cool stuff there. But am I a millionaire? Unfortunately not. Hopefully, my hope is that by 2023, I would hope, right? If Sundial does super good next year, we'll see if we can do it. But let's see. So, Rob, if we get sold a fake share, is that money available to AMC? Says JL. So, I don't think that would be money available to AMC. Typically, unless AMC is offering stock, I'll explain this. So, unless AMC or any company is offering stock, it's not actually money to the company. You know, every time you buy a share of a stock, you're not actually giving that company any money unless it's during an IPO. You're giving someone else who's selling that share money. So, it's typically a random person getting the cash. If you buy a share of AMC, it's typically, you know, Joe Schmo down the street who's selling his share of AMC, and you're buying it from him. The company doesn't actually get anything from it. So not the biggest deal. Not the biggest deal regarding the fake shares of AMC. And Abstract Artemis asks, are you a homeowner? You know, I considered it. I considered buying one. Not a homeowner right now. Living rent-free, though. It's a pretty sweet deal where I'm at right now. But not a homeowner. Considered it, but, you know, over the past year, the housing prices were just so crazy, and it's looking like they are still pretty crazy. However, typically, when you see interest rates go up, housing prices drop dramatically. So potentially next year is, in 2022, will be the time to make the move. It's just that I got a pretty sweet deal living here with some buddies. So I don't mind where I'm at too much right now. It's very fun, honestly. But it would be nice to have potentially my own space, right? So maybe. And AMC, look at that, break into the upside, breaking past 25.41. And Abstract has owned a home for 4 years. Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. And Mike Steele asking for 60 cents. It's looking like we're about to hit it. I mean, you called it, Mike. You called it. I think it was you who called it. You were saying, wouldn't it be awesome if we got to 60 cents with yeah, I think it was. If Sundial could hit 60 cents today, and it looks like we are about to get there. We're at 0.5999. Come on, make Max's dreams come true. I think we can do it. Everything's turning green at the moment. DWAC moving up. The only thing that's not moving up is the S&P. So, that's interesting. That's interesting. Wait until home pricing charts return to 2012 levels, says Silver. Maybe. There are some potentially good deals out there if you find someone who's just looking to get rid of a house. So, yeah, there we go. There we go. Sundial back up above 60 cents per share. DWAC moving up. AMC blasting to the upside, up 4% on the day. It's looking like it's a pretty darn green day in the markets. I'm happy to see it. It's looking like it's a lot greener than what we were expecting when we saw all these downtrends that were happening over the course of the after hours and pre-market. Nice. That's awesome. And we'll take a peek at the economic calendar. It looks like at 1, we have Fed Waller speaking. We've got U.S. banker Hughes oil rig count at 1 also. We've got a couple things happening at 1. Crude oil speculative net positions at, what is that, 330. Gold speculative net positions at 330. NASDAQ 100 speculative net positions at 330. And S&P 500 speculative net positions at 330. So we've got a couple of events going on at 1 and 3. Nothing too important, though. Nothing crazy. So it shouldn't be the most volatile. But like Zach was saying, triple witching hour today. So a lot of volatility potentially towards the end of the day as people try to just nudge their securities in the right direction to get those options and derivatives expiring in the right places. So Squirrely B asks, are Sundial and Alcana still possibly merging? They are? Yeah, oh yeah. Nothing too bad happened with them. They just delayed the merger until, I think, January 7th, they said, because they needed some additional people to vote. They needed more Alcana shareholders to vote in the poll. So hopefully, I mean, it's my expectation that they only needed about 10% more votes to come in. It's my expectation that we're going to get that merger going through. So yeah, I think towards the end of or towards the beginning of January, towards the beginning of 2022, we'll probably see that merger going through. And Rich Emma has to head out. Got to run errands. Have a great weekend. All right, have a great weekend, Rich. In fact, it's 10:10. And, we could go to 10:30, but we do have a bit to do today, man. Should we end it 20 minutes early? I think we should. I think this is where we've got to call it. I planned on ending at 10 today. We went a little bit longer just because the markets were rallying, and this is the perfect place probably to end. Looking at Sundial up, DWAC moving to the upside, AMC's doing good. The only thing that's not is the S&P. The S&P is actually moving down close to lows of day. So we're getting close to lows of day. But yeah, I got to start getting ready for the trip, says Acorn Sucks. Yep, that's right. So that was the stream. Hopefully, we'll continue on this uptrend with Sundial. It looks like we're above 60 cents, so that could be a good sign. Hopefully, AMC continues. I mean, it's just been green bar after green bar for a long, long time. We're up to almost 26 bucks on AMC, so good stuff. But we've got to head out now. So I'll see you guys on Monday. Have a great weekend. Don't worry about what the markets do on the weekend. Don't think about the markets. Just enjoy yourself. Other than that, guys, have a great day. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.